Hey, this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing a Spyderco Roundup video. I'm going to kind of go over all the Spydercos I have in my possession currently. And most of these I have to give back. They're on loan, so I have to return them pretty soon. So I thought it would be cool to kind of group them all together, talk about all of them briefly, kind of compare and contrast, and see what you guys think and see what your favorite Spyderco is. It might not be on the table right now, but definitely leave a comment and let me know. We will get into the Spyderco Roundup in just a second, but first, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. Okay, so we have a lot of Spydercos, and just a short few, weeks ago, I was a Spyderco hater. No, I never really hated the Spydercos. I just weren't really for me, and I'm not sure if they are for me still. But what I have found is there are some Spydercos that I enjoy, and some that I appreciate, some that I would never own, some that I really don't like. So I've gotten to know the Spydercos a little bit better. I still don't have a ton of experience with them, but luckily enough, my friend who has a crazy amount of Spydercos has been lending a few in to me for review, for overview, so I could check them out. So I've gotten more experience with some Spyderco knives, but of course, nothing compared to you Spyderco crazies out there who have like 19 PM2s and every sprint run of the Shaman and all that stuff. I know. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my favorite things about these knives, what I'm not into, and kind of if I was gonna buy one of these, or if I could only keep one, what would it be? I thought about doing like a countdown, a Spyderco countdown, but I think I'm just gonna kind of go down the list. So let's go ahead and start with the amalgam. Amalgam, it's not for me. It's a giant machete danger banana knife, kind of like the Capara from what I've seen, although I've never handled the Capara. I think that's the name of it. Slow roll works really well. It pinches the crap out of your finger with the flipper tab. I'm not sure how this got past the design phase. Why would you put a flipper? Flipper delete, I think it works really well as a kind of giant slow roll knife, but you got to be careful with the flipper tab because it is going to pinch you. The scales, I think they feel really good. This kind of weird carbon fiber laminate G10 hybrid, whatever it is. Solid, but not for me. Moving on, we have, I guess this is kind of a countdown. I'm going to do them in order. This is the Manix 2. It feels, this thing is extremely heavy. Like this may be the heaviest knife on my table right now. And I have a bunch of knives to the side for size comparisons and stuff. This may be the heaviest knife. This may be the heaviest knife I own. This is a chunker. Really satisfying thud when it opens up. Did I say this is the Manix 2? This is the Manix 2. I get all the names confused. But this is in 154 cm. Kind of an unusual hollow grind. I feel like Spydercos stick with the flat grinds. Action is fine. Got the ball bearing lock, kind of like, like an axis lock. Or just there's a spring in there, similar to an axis lock from what I understand. You can slow roll it. Again, the G10 scales, not my favorite. I feel like this is, these are the basic scales that come with the knife, and there's definitely room for an upgrade there. If you had these scales on here, boom, I think that's a huge step in the right direction. This is a good knife. I feel like a lot of Spyderco fans would enjoy this, or do enjoy this. I find that for me, pulling down on the ball bearing lock, it's a little bit hard. I don't know, maybe I'm just not used to it, but it's just kind of like I really got to yank down on the lock. Solid knife. It's also not a small knife. This is also a rather large Spyderco. Ergos are surprisingly good. Nice choil action. You get the forward choil, jimping up top. It feels fine. You know, it's not like, I don't have any major complaints. It feels fine. Let's see where the edge is at. Solid edge put on by my friend whose knife this is. Solid Spyderco. Would I ever buy one? No, just because of the ball bearing lock. That is not my jam. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about, what do we have next? All right, let's talk the Para 3. I've enjoyed this knife a lot. It's very fidgety. I like the action a lot. The scales are not offensive to me. It's G10. The pattern is pretty cool. S45 VN blade steel, coated blade. Let's see where the edge is at on this guy. Pretty damn good. It's just, you know, it's not a standard for me, but this is a standard for a lot of people. Oh, I just pinched the shit out of my finger. That's the only thing I found, actually, is the only time I've ever been pinched by a compression lock is on the Para 3. I'm not sure if it's just because where my finger kind of sits, or that it's a little bit too small for my hand, or I'm just not used to it. I don't know, but I've never been pinched by any other compression lock. This is, you know, I think this is really, if not, I think PM2s are more popular, but one of the more popular Spydercos, and for good reason. I see why people like it. Ergos are good. It comes in a ton of different materials and blade steels. I understand the appeal, although I think I would still opt for a PM2. The clip, it's not for me. This part is super pokey, but overall, I think aside from the pinching on the compression lock, this is a very solid Spyderco. Now, here's where we get into my favorites. It just so happens that these are all in M4 and they're all Blade HQ exclusives. Coincidence, purely coincidence. I had this on loan from that same friend, and I really enjoyed this a lot. Ergos, the grind on the blade, that it's coated, the blade steel. My only complaint, and has not pinched me once, the action is just outstanding. Probably the best Spyderco action that I have felt, made in Taichung, Taiwan. And that's what I was talking about kind of the comparison between American-made Spydercos and Spydercos made in Taiwan. This action is just so glossy, smooth. Ergos are great. I love that blade shape. Almost reminds me of a bigger dragonfly-ish, you know? Anyway, this is the, did I say the name? This is the Sage 5 Lightweight. I still don't know if there is a regular Sage 5, but it's just, this is light, it's comfortable. I hate the scales. Absolutely hate these, but originally they came in like a minty green color, and my friend Rit dyed these dark green, so huge improvement, but I do not like the feel of this kind of hard plastic FRN. Not my jam. I do love the wire clip. Feels great in pocket. It is super light, super slicey. Let's go ahead and laser beam. I mean, this is a really great Spyderco. I enjoy this a lot. Now, my other M4 Blade HQ exclusives, we have. Oh, anyway, I got distracted. I was explaining. So I had this on loan from my friend. I got this actually. I lucked out. Got this in really excellent condition for that same friend because he was on the hunt for a smock and could not find one because this is like, if not, I think it is the most in demand Spyderco and the most in demand on Knife Swap on the secondary market. I mean, it just flies off flies off the shelves, but it does not stay on the secondary market long. Extremely high demand for this guy. The smock is a really cool, fun knife, and I just kind of lucked out and got one of these on the secondary market. Yes, my friend has already claimed this. It's for him, so no, it is not for sale, but I will not be keeping it. It is going his way. But yeah, it's just become super popular. Everyone's into button locks. Everyone loves Spydercos. Just a very, very cool knife. And this is an exclusive. This smock is hard to find. This is really hard to find because it is in M4 and got this jade G10, which actually feels fine. I mean, it's kind of that same G10 is on the camo. But for some reason, it just feels a little bit better to me. I don't know, like it's a little bit grippier actually. And for some reason, I enjoy that, which normally I don't. I'm not sure. But anyway, you can slow roll it. It has an extremely hollow grind. I really like not only the look of that and the blade shape. You got that kind of reverse Tanto Warncliffe thing going on, but the hollow just feels so nice. I mean, you can see that. Let's see. Let's do it this way. Hopefully you guys can see that hollow. Anyway, let's go ahead and get a little edge. Oh, man. Really nice. It functions kind of the same way with a compression lock, although the compression lock is actuated by the button. Kind of smooth, controlled close. Flipper tab works well. I was kind of worried about that. Sometimes with the flipper tabs, kind of where they're integrated into the handle like this, they don't have enough, enough juice to kind of get out, to kind of, to deploy the blade, but this works really well. Let's see, can I fail it? I'm sure I can. Yeah, so you can fail it, but if you do a deliberate flip, it's gonna deploy. Anyway, so I lucked out on this one, picked this up on the secondary, and then this is actually mine. They were hyping up the Blade HQ exclusive, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I've been into the larger knives. I'm not a huge micarta fan, but I thought, this is... After checking out this guy in M4, I thought, man, you know what? I don't have another knife in M4, and I thought, I've enjoyed this so much. Let's go ahead and give it a try on the Shaman. Of course, this is not coated. This is just a satin M4 blade, so there will be some patina and some discoloration on that. I'm kind of looking forward to that. And of course, this has the compression lock. One thing that I do not enjoy about this is the little nub right there that comes down and just jams your finger. So again, kind of a design flaw in my book, but not as serious of a flaw as the flipper tab on the Amalgam. Oh, I said it correctly. Amazing. So these are my top three, and there are two Spydercos that I do not have right now. One is not my Dragonfly, although Dragonfly is a good knife. The Ladybug, awesome knife. I don't have it right now, and also and I own that one. And then the PM2, which it was on loan, but that's back with my friend now, and the PM2 was great. I like that more than the Para 3, and the PM2 was, from what I remember, it's larger, felt great in my hand, good action. So I feel like that is kind of, that should be in with these three knives. Those are kind of my top four. If I had to do kind of an elimination, as good as the smock is, for me, it's just, I don't know. The button lock feels great. It's fun to play with. But when you go to flick it, the hole is just a little bit small, and I'm not a huge flipper fan lately, at least. I've been kind of flippered out for a few months. So as good as this thing is, the blade, I think, is the highlight. I mean, the hollow grind, M4 blade steel, it's an excellent knife, don't get me wrong. But, and also these stupid Spyderco clips. But if I had to kind of narrow it down even more, I would say this is going to the side. And that leaves two left. We got the Shaman, and we got the Sage 5 lightweight. Now I'm just judging this on how these two specific models feel in my hand. I'm not saying that one knife is, oh my gosh, so much better than the other one. It's just the action of this and the action of this, the actual two knives that I have on my table right now. And if I had to pick, first of all, the size of this guy is great. I really like the size of the Shaman. It feels so good in my hand. Again, the clip I hate, but what are you gonna do? It feels so good in my hand. The forward choil, it's just a lot of knife. You know, it's a lot of handle. I really enjoy that. This, on the other hand, is very light, but it's actually more comfortable. The scales, listen, I don't like micarta, and I really don't like the FRN. If I had to choose scale material, I'm gonna go with micarta. This is just too rough and plasticky. Coated blade is great, especially on M4. So that would be nice if this was coated as well. If we kind of combine these two together, is there a Spyderco that has both of these, you know, the features combined? Because that would be great. Action, all day. Sage 5 lightweight. It's just easy to deploy. It is very light. Ergos are good. It's very slicey. Full flat ground, just like this guy. It's just a bummer that I've had to kind of adjust this action, and this one came, you know, ready to go. Now, this has been disassembled. This has not been disassembled, so you have to take that into consideration. Overall, if I had to keep one, I am going to keep the Shaman. Although, you know, this is mine. I actually am keeping the Shaman, and I have to return this to my friend. But I'm keeping the Shaman just because it is more knife. I think that in the long run, I would get a little bit bored of this. I found that my smaller knives just don't tend to stay in my pocket for long periods of time, because not only because I move on to other knives that I have to review and I have to, you know, check out, but it just kind of gets lost. Where this guy, you know, this is a substantial chunk of knife, so I can see this having a lot more pocket time. Overall, these are both excellent knives, and honorable mention with the smock. But I think, you know, this is tough. I was just thinking about it. Right now, if I had to pick one of these up to use it, I'm picking up the Sage 5 lightweight. But if I had to carry one for a week, I'm gonna go with the Shaman. I think once I get the Shaman, you know, the nub delete, I get some new scales, I get a new clip. Once I kind of make this mine, I feel like it will be good to go, and you know, it'll be my favorite Spyderco. But for now, it's a close 1-2. Let me know what you guys think. If you have a Spyderco that you really enjoy, if you like just the classic, you know, PM2 Para 3, or if you like something funkier like the amalgam. Oh my gosh. There's some weird Spydercos out there, but thank you guys so much for watching. This has been my Spyderco Roundup. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sure some of you thought that I would never do a Spyderco video like this, but I'm open-minded. I've definitely found some Spydercos that I enjoy, and I have plenty of new videos and new knives coming your way. Keep an eye out for that, and I will catch you later. This has been Knife Standards. Take care.